Man, the people are on us this morning, Vogt.
Yeah, apparently we were late. We weren't.
We were not late. Philip. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR show. We are here on a Tuesday. Harrison, Wind and Brendan Vogt. The two-man game is back. What have you done in the last 24 hours, Vogt, since I last saw you?
I wept gently to myself. Do you want to hear more about that? Or?
I do, actually. Yeah.
No, I don't have much. Sometimes I get sad. I went for a walk.
Right.
Today was one, and I'm feeling good.
Okay.
Ready to do this two-man show with you.
Well, we got
complete my sentences and everything.
I think by the end of this week we might. We got a fun show planned. As I mentioned yesterday, it's rank week at DNVR. We're ranking the 25 greatest athletes in Denver/Colorado sports history.
I did not make the list, which is horseshit. But
maybe next year we'll rank the top 10 ultimate frisbee players.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't make that list either, unfortunately. But Nuggets podcasters, yeah. I'm on the bubble.
I would hope you're on the bubble. We're rolling along with that list. You can follow it on all our social media channels, on the DNVR_sports Twitter account. We just revealed Carmelo Anthony is number 20. David Thompson just came out. He's number 19, a very Nuggets-centric day on DNVR rank. But we want to do our little own DNVR rank here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast. We are ranking today the top 10 cult heroes of the Nikola Jokic era.
What a fun breakup from the intense analysis that was yesterday's show.
Yeah. Yesterday we did top 10 players. I think that was a good list.
I did too.
I didn't get as much pushback to that list as I thought we might.
Someone accused us of clickbait hunting by putting Will Barton over Monte Morris. And I just thought, what SEO world do you live in? Yep, that's how we drive engagement.
Yeah.
That's the one we needed to get in there.
Yep.
Hey, can I ask you before we get going, do you like the order that we have the Nuggets in our top 25 that have come in so far? Would you argue that anyone belongs ahead of anyone as we've seen it?
Looking at Carmelo Anthony's accolades in Denver, they're not as impressive as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Carmelo, I think, looking back, I mean, he really made 4 All-Star teams as a Nugget. The fourth one was a day before he got traded. I was looking it up today. He played in the All-Star game for the Western Conference a day before he got traded to the Knicks in 2010. Yeah, 2010. So really 3 All-Star games as a Nugget, 3 All-NBA selections. Carmelo Anthony's greatest accolade or attribute is revitalizing basketball in Denver.
I agree with that.
The Nuggets were a forgotten franchise when he came here. They were an afterthought for most of the decade before he got here, and he changed that immediately. As soon as he put on a jersey, the Nuggets were a team people talked about again, locally and nationally.
Internationally, even. There's this weird pocket of Australian, not that you guys are weird, it's just strange that there's such a large pocket of Nuggets fans in Australia. So many of them have told me either Melo or Allen Iverson just really got them into it. So he created new Nuggets fans all around the world.
That's his biggest accomplishment, in my opinion. Of course, I mean, it was ultimately a disappointing era because they only won one single first-round series with Carmelo Anthony as their best player. That was, of course, 2009 when they went to the Western Conference Finals. So it was disappointing in that aspect. Melo was a great player, one of the best Nuggets of all time, for sure, a first-ballot Hall of Famer. But you look at his accolades while he was in Denver, and I don't know, I just thought there would be more there. So him at 20, it's tough because we weighed everything in the conversation, and impact on the city of Denver is definitely something, but I don't know about that one.
It's tough. You know, it's funny. Most of the feedback on the main account, DNVR Sports, is that it's too low. So it just goes to show you that while I agree with the argument you made, every time I talk to Nuggets fans about it, you know, well, there are obviously exceptions. Some people don't love him, but people are quick to point out how important he was. So you just can't really have a basketball conversation in Denver without him coming up.
Yeah. He was so important, I will say. When we went back and watched the 2009 playoffs, he was very underwhelming.
I really had the same.
Especially in the conference finals against the Lakers.
I had the same thought, man.
Very underwhelming.
I thought he would pop
on
more.
rewatch.
I agree.
All right. So we got some news at the top here to get to before we get to our top 10 cult heroes of the Nikola Jokic era. We'll see if Mason Plumlee gets in there, Ted. Keep petitioning,
Ted's
man.
working for it.
Right off the bat, Aaron Gordon Vogt has a new pair of shoes, the AG 4.0s.
Hang on, I got to stop you right there. 4.0? Fourth edition? I didn't know. I do love this note here. That's inspiration in the top right corner.
Yeah.
Someday I'll be a pro basketball player. Someday you'll be a world champion, Aaron Gordon. How about that?
Actually, just an NBA champion.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah, they're not allowed to call themselves world champions.
That's my bad.
What do you think of these? We got a Nuggets colorway there on the left. The one on the right that I tweeted is a Bruce Lee colorway.
All right.
That model's called like Mind Over Water, something.
Sure.
Like Bruce Lee
It's
said.
on Jamal Murray's locker somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of these?
Okay, I'm not a huge shoe guy, so I don't want to speak as some sort of authority.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about them. They kind of remind me of Beyblades. You know what I'm talking about? The old I'll just let that one sit.
The what?
If you get it, you get it in the chat. Beyblades, like the little circle things that would fight in the... Never mind.
Not familiar.
I don't... Kale's cracking up. I don't love them.
I got you. I got what you're putting down.
I don't love them. But I do love anything Aaron Gordon does right now, so I support the release of his shoes all the same.
Yeah, I'll just say I don't think they're very good-looking shoes.
I don't think so.
I was actually reading that one of the reasons he partnered with the company who makes these, the Chinese company, I think it was one of the reasons he was in China, is still in China. We really don't know the whereabouts of Aaron Gordon at this moment, but I think one of the reasons he was there was to promote the release of this shoe.
That would make sense.
It's with a Chinese company, and I was reading that one of the reasons he started wearing these shoes was because he kept spraining his ankles, and these shoes apparently offered him the best ankle support that he could find.
Look how high that heel runs up, man.
That's a high heel.
It's a high heel, bro.
That is a high heel.
Hey, if I think honestly, psychologically, if an athlete feels like equipment gives them an advantage or mitigates a weakness or concern, let it rip. Because some confidence is maybe more than half the battle anyway. So I'm into it. Here's the deal. I hope these shoe sales skyrocket because he's a champion and he's been in the public eye. I'm thinking 4.0 sells more than the first three, but I don't know.
Also in the news, KSE teasing some upgrades to Ball Arena, potentially. I don't know if you saw this one.
Are they imminent? Are they happening soon?
Well, get a load of this press release from Kroenke Sports and Entertainment. It says KSE is conducting market due diligence to evaluate opportunities to enhance the fan experience at Ball Arena.
Cool.
They go on to say they've partnered with a third-party advisory firm to assist throughout the planning process, which to date has included tours of recently renovated NBA and NHL venues, evaluation of local and regional market characteristics, review of industry trends and best practices, yada, 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 yada. Bunch of other bullshit. Upgrades to Ball Arena. See, okay, I don't know if... it doesn't sound like this is about a practice facility or, the whole city that Stan Kroenke wants to build where Elitch Gardens currently is in Denver. The mini city he wants to build. This sounds like it is upgrades and updates to Ball Arena as it sits, where it sits right now.
Not moving, not going anywhere.
That's not what it sounds like, at least
Just looking at
this
updates.
item of news?
Well, my first thought, not to be too annoying and about it, but due diligence, just the Cronkies doing their due diligence, long timeline.
You've got to do your due diligence.
Long timeline was my first thought. Probably not right around the corner. Their due diligence seems to be particularly due and diligent. So we'll see. But hey, man, I think Ball Arena could use an upgrade, to be honest. That's not a shot at any individual involved. Like, I think people in the organization do a great job putting on, games and events there. But having been around, you and I have both gotten to travel, see games in other arenas. It's not the elite arena experience in the NBA. It can get better, and it might be due for an upgrade. So this is, all jokes aside, while this is an opportunity for them to make more money too, and that's what it's about, we've talked a lot about hoping to see the organization kind of level up and grow up.
Yeah.
And this is part of it is, okay, we have an opportunity here to, like, all eyes are on Denver. Basketball runs through Denver. Maybe our arena should reflect that. So
I think that's a great point. Ball Arena, to me, and this is based off an opinion I've been to most of the arenas in the Western Conference, but based off what I've seen, Ball Arena is like as cookie cutter, as default, as off of the assembly line of an arena as I've seen in the West.
Yeah, yes.
It has very little
character. Yeah,
exactly.
You don't walk around and go, yeah, this is Denver's. It's just
right.
You
walk through a hallway, you could be in any arena, man. Like, you really could be. So I think this is a great idea, honestly. And I like how, according to this press release, they already have toured recently renovated NBA and NHL venues to see what other teams are up to.
I think that's great. Honestly, I think it's due. My first suggestion, humbly, upgrade the Wi-Fi. Maybe the press Wi-Fi even. Hard to work.
You know that's going to be absolutely last on the list of upgrades.
Pretty low on the
maybe
fans will
just
have
get
better.
that upload speed a little higher.
PR will be like, just log on to the public one, dude. It's just kidding, everyone.
But it also does say they're sending out a survey on August 29th. That's today, Tuesday, to obtain feedback that will assist us in making data-driven decisions regarding the future of Ball Arena.
That's a great question from Ted. Like, specifically, what character would you like to see? And this is where I stop myself as a podcaster and say, I don't know, bro. I just complain into the mic. I don't think I'm someone who has an eye for. I'm not sure I can break it down for you, but
you don't want Union Station lettering replacing the Ball Arena branding.
Actually, now that you mention it. But I do agree
Not bad, right?
with this sort of
that's pretty bad
layman's eye perspective, or like just walking into it, it just doesn't feel the same as other arenas, and that's a lackluster response, but that's what I got for you.
Yeah. What character would I like to see?
I'm not really sure how to create character. I know it when I see it and when I feel it, but I'm not sure how to kill.
Are you saying you're not an architect? Weird.
Yeah, I'm not an
Who would've
architect. I bet D-Line would have some thoughts here. I think it's a genuinely good question from Ted. It's easy to be like, this isn't good enough, but what actually needs to change? But I will settle on this. I think it's cool that they're doing the work. They're asking themselves that question, and I hope it actually happens.
I agree. I hope they don't come out of this whole due diligence process and just renovate the Lexus Club.
That's what's going to happen.
We looked around at all the other arenas, Vogt, and we saw they actually have better Lexus clubs than us.
Yeah, we realized we're leaving a lot of money on the table with the suites, is what.
We actually hiked up the ticket prices.
And that's part of it too, by the way. Unfortunately, with leveling up as an organization, I keep using the Warriors as an example. They're a great one here as well. It gets very expensive, which is unfortunate for the consumer, but it is part of it. Like, I just think there's an opportunity to present yourself as the class of the NBA.
One piece of character that that Ball Arena does have, Steve mentions the ground floor restaurant. What is it? Is it still the Breckenridge?
Yeah, Breckenridge Brewery, yeah.
Brewery Lounge. That is designed like a log cabin. So I guess that's kind of Colorado.
That's true. That's my favorite part, actually.
It looks like a log cabin inside there.
And I hear the Lexus Club is nice. I don't get to go in. I've never been in. So what can I say?
Also in the news, Vogt, I don't know if you saw, but Giannis Antetokounmpo gave an interview to the New York Times where he had some very interesting quotes. He pretty much said that he's not re-signing for an extension this summer, and he's only doing it next summer if the Bucks are in position and making moves to win a championship.
Man, here's where, because I don't actually want to come down hard on Giannis here. I don't think that this is egregious behavior. I think it's par for the course, sort of. But this is the ultimate relief in, it's not just that Jokic stayed, it's that it's not ever a question. Because he's already put this organization on the Bucks, this pressure on the Bucks, and they traded 5-round picks for Drew, and it worked, and they won a title. And it's just sort of, how more all in can they be? You know, how can they show that they're serious? Maybe they only lost in the first round last year because Giannis got hurt anyway. So it's sort of a look. Maybe he doesn't leave, but you just don't even want that pressure of, man, do the next few moves we make have to be entirely informed by how he feels about it?
Yeah,
and by all accounts, that's not the case in Denver, and that's the ultimate relief.
It is, man. The Nuggets are so lucky they've got Nikola Jokic, a one-of-a-kind NBA superstar. And you're right, there's never any worry. It's never lingering in the back of my head, is Nikola Jokic going to leave? Like, it's just not a question. It's not an issue. But with most NBA superstars, it is. And after I saw this interview, man, I have a feeling we're going to be on Giannis watch for this entire regular season. He's under contract for 2 more years, this coming season and then 2023, 2024. If they have a bad year this year, I 100% guarantee you that there will be trade rumors about Giannis next summer. Like, that's just how it goes. And he seems like he's laying the groundwork for that to be a possibility. I mean, he's certainly not committing to Milwaukee with these comments or really any comments that he's made ever since re-signing that deal and winning a championship. So it seems like the groundwork is being laid for a Giannis-heavy conversation throughout most of the regular season.
I do want to acknowledge that Giannis did stay and did win in Milwaukee, right? So if he chooses to leave, you know, I don't think it's some huge departure from who he's presented himself as and claimed, you know, he prioritizes. I don't really think it would be unfair of him. So, but secondly, this is one worth talking about. This isn't the Dame saga. This is, in 2023, wherever Giannis goes, moves the needle, right? And that's just a fact. So it'll be relevant. It'll be probably in the forefront of the conversation and the headlines, particularly if and as any tension swells in Milwaukee. I'm with you. It's a storyline to watch. Another thing I kind of want to watch parallel with it is our temperature on would you even want to trade for Giannis?
Well, Vogt, I famously predicted in my 20 predictions for 2023 that Giannis would ask out of Milwaukee and Denver would be on his short list this summer. Now, I might have been a year early.
If you get that one, man.
Would I want Giannis in Denver? The trade would be like Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr.
I hate it. I mean, I'm not from like a basketball, not that it makes you bad. I feel like a large part of why being a Nuggets fan and doing this show every day is so fun is because it is Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. and the whole package. I honestly do think, anyway, I don't think Denver would, but it's just something to think about, you know.
I don't think Denver would for Giannis.
Actually, that's a ridiculous sentence. They did just win the title. Is it a ridiculous sentence? Chat, is it ridiculous? Is it ridiculous? Would Denver say yes immediately?
I don't think they would.
Would you say yes immediately, chat? That's what I want to know.
I want to say no to that trade because I want the Nuggets to keep winning the hard way in the NBA. I don't think Giannis would want to come here, though.
Yeah. Also, by the way, we're just doing full August 29th BS. This isn't a thing.
I mean, that's a trade that you have to say yes to from a basketball perspective, from a perspective of wanting to win as many NBA championships as possible. You have to say yes to that. I would want to say no to that personally. I want to win a championship and keep winning championships the way they've been winning them. But I don't think Giannis will want to come to Denver. I know I predicted the Nuggets would be on his short list. That was right after the Giannis and Nico All-Star bromance.
That's right.
Of 2 All-Star games ago.
Yep.
And that's when I was really feeling that. But I don't think Giannis would want to come here because this is kind of Nikola Jokic's team, and because Giannis, even though he's an international guy, even though he's in Milwaukee, I think Giannis would want to go to a big market.
I do think he has a lot of that in him.
I think the Lakers, the Heat, the Knicks would be the top of his trade request list.
The Knicks would be a really interesting one. The Knicks would be really interesting. Or not interesting, just we would talk about it relentlessly.
That being said, if Jokic and Giannis were on the same team, the Nuggets might win the championship for the next 5 years.
Well,
every single year.
Part of me
16-0.
Yeah, here's why I'm interested in this, even just a dumb thought experiment or pipe dreamy thing, is I just love the idea of the international dudes making their own super team and it being not even close, like untouchable. Which, by the way, just Giannis and Jokic, you're pretty much there.
Could they be called the world champions then? They have the best 2 international players.
You got to get one of the Aussies
winning
back.
The best league in the world. Would they be considered the world champions? I don't know.
Hollis Jefferson do a 10-day? We got to stop doing the Kobe thing. It's Hollis Jefferson. What's going on?
I did not know Rondé Hollis Jefferson had that, though.
I didn't either. I mean, all he had to do was shave his head.
All right, let's hit a break. On the other side, we will get to our top 10 list of cult heroes of the Nikola Jokic era. Some great names on this list that I think you guys are going to love.
Man, you know what I love? Circa Resort and Casino. When you pull up, you're like, this looks beautiful. And then you get there and something weird happens at first. They check your ID at the door. And that's because it's an adults-only casino resort. What does that mean? Well, when you get inside, you got shorter lines. You're not dealing with kids. You're not waiting for bartenders to check IDs, return IDs. You just walk on up and order your drink. It's a 3-story stadium-style operation. They have a 78 million pixel screen. Food from Victory Burger, which we tried several times. It was delicious. There are all kinds of places to kick it, watch sports, bet on sports, including their pool, which is just one of the all-time sports watching locations. Download the app for Circa Sports Colorado if you're located in Colorado. Bets can only be made while physically located in Colorado. Must be 21 or older. All rights reserved. Circa Sports Colorado encourages you to gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit problemgamblingcolorado.org.
This episode of the DNVR Nuggets Podcast brought to you by Illegal Pete's. Illegal Pete's offers handmade mission-style burritos, bowls, and tacos crafted with responsibly sourced high-quality ingredients. That's a good note about Illegal Pete's. When you eat Illegal Pete's, the taste is just different compared to other burrito places because of the ingredients. The ingredients are responsibly sourced. They're high quality. It's just made differently with a different level of care than some of those other spots. Illegal Pete's also has a full bar, a wide selection of local craft beer at every location. Stop by for happy hour 3 to 8 p.m. every single day at all 12 Illegal Pete's locations. It's your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer for 28 years, man. 28 years Illegal Pete's has been doing it. Their burritos are awesome. Their bowls are great. Tacos, quesadillas, whatever you want, you can find it at Illegal Pete's. Stop in for their happy hour 3 to 8 p.m. every day at all 12 locations. All right, we're back here on the DNVR Nuggets Podcast, the NBA show, Tuesday edition. Harrison Wind and Brendan Vogt. Top 10 cult heroes of the Nikola Jokic era. Cult heroes, vibesmen, whatever you want to call them.
Can we do some housekeeping up front? Because I get so nervous about losing the chat right off the bat.
Okay.
This is not... I know AG was on the thumbnail. We made an executive decision before we started. Mr. Nuggets are their own category.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't tell you that. It was like 60 seconds, but no, it's not.
That's my bad.
No,
We
it's
changed
fine.
it.
Kale, don't beat yourself up about it.
Gary Harris, Monte Morris, Aaron Gordon, and even the likes of like a Bruce Brown.
Yes, Bruce Brown, too good for this list.
They're their only...
Gary Harris, too good for this list.
So they're their own category. We're going to talk about people that were beloved by pockets, if not all, of the internet Nuggets fandom. Some of these will be divisive, and I can tell you right now I'm going to disagree with some of Wynn's placement.
So we're still looking for a number 10 on this list. Here, let me just list off some candidates. DeAndre Jordan. I think he's a candidate.
I do. He probably should be on the list.
RJ Hampton.
I love it.
Jared Vanderbilt. DeMarcus Cousins. Malik Beasley.
I put a question mark on it, to be fair.
Greg Whittington. Darrell Arthur. Will Barton's too good for this list.
We put him on the other list, too.
This is, yeah.
Yeah, just cult heroes. Yeah, think Juancho, Dozier. I don't want to give the list away, but you guys are on it. You'll see what we're going for as we fill this out. Darrell Arthur. Oh, man. See, Darrell Arthur is tough because he has almost a predecessor to the Mr. Nugget thing. He's like him sticking around in Denver. People loved him back then. You know, he's got some staying power. But I don't know if his peak is as high in terms of internet cult fandom as some of these other guys.
Who would you go with at 10 here?
I would say that I would say it's a toss-up for me between the first three, DeAndre Jordan, RJ Hampton, and Jared Vanderbilt. I'm going to take Hampton out now that I say that.
I think it's DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan or Jared Vanderbilt. This DeAndre Jordan is more liked by a lot. Jared Vanderbilt falls into this conversation in that we will not make it through a trade deadline without revisiting his time in Denver, as long as he's in the NBA.
But if we're thinking cult heroes / vibesman, DeAndre Jordan is a vibesman.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, I'm with it. Let's put him on there. He's got to be on this list. And he's the vibesman. He's one of the vibesmen of the championship team. Has to be represented.
Absolutely. DeAndre Jordan, we all trashed the signing when it happened originally.
Trashed it.
We did not trash it this time around because we know better. Now, as champions, we know that you need that.
What if it goes horribly?
Veteran presence in the locker room. We know how important that championship DNA is, and DeAndre Jordan had that, and he brought that invaluable veteran presence to the locker room.
Man, chat's dropping some good ones, dude. We're gonna be here all day. But all right, let's start there. Let's put DeAndre Jordan on the on the list.
Number 9, I have penciled in Isaiah Thomas.
I don't think he should be on this list, Wind. I don't think he ever had a camp in Denver that was like, that's my guy. We need IT out there. And after he left, I don't remember people being like, we got to bring this guy back, which is a key part of the argument for a lot of people on this list. I don't know if IT should be on there.
The reason I penciled him in here is Isaiah Thomas was beloved by the rest of the locker room.
That is true.
Nuggets teammates loved Isaiah Thomas, and back then, man, the Nuggets, like, they had such a quiet, reserved group, and Isaiah Thomas livened up the locker room, livened up practice every day, and people did love Isaiah Thomas here in Denver. I
got
believe.
one in the chat. LOL Pap.
until he started playing.
That was tough. I'm going to say no, dude. I'm going to put my foot down.
Okay.
Because there were a couple late entries that we missed.
Who's your nomination for 9?
I think one of Marcus Howard or Austin Rivers. And this is from the chat. We did not have this on our list. Oversight. I think that in terms of cult hero, dude, we got a goddamn Austin Rivers chant at the DNVR bar. People were standing on tables.
Could be here.
Chat, sound off. Let me know what you think.
I think Austin Rivers could be here. He did get the chant at the DNVR bar. He did start a playoff series out of nowhere.
Hell yeah, he did. They won.
I know.
They won that playoff series.
6 games.
He did have some great moments, like as a Nugget when he was praying after that one Damian Lillard 3 missed.
Oh yeah, dude.
He won a game in the playoffs. I'm good with Austin Rivers at number 9.
Let's go, Kale. Let's go. Slot him in. Chat's with it too.
Okay, number 8, Vlatko Čančar.
Let's wait and see the rest of the list. I think he might be too low, but he absolutely is on the list. I can't argue with that. Vlatko's on the list.
Because Vlatko, he was a player. I mean, he has been a player, a rotation player at times for the Nuggets. A lot of the guys on this list aren't. Most are, I think, but some definitely aren't.
Right.
Vlatko, great vibes.
All-time vibes.
Hero status.
Friend of the show. And just some hilarious moments as a Nugget. Think about the picture in the bubble that he told us was not Photoshopped. I still don't believe him. Think about this last season, the free throw line dunk. It's so true. The half court buzzer beaters.
The half court buzzer beater.
I have to tell the chat. We were in the hallway at Ball Arena, and I felt a gentle cradle on the back of my head, and it was Vlatko giving me the little Balkan head cradle.
Oh man!
By the way, very comforting, very lovely. But yeah, Vlatko is a vibesman. He's got to be on here.
Also, he just looks freaking hilarious. Like, I can't believe that guy is an NBA player.
He
Whenever he started rocking the mustache,
that's it, dude.
He really just leveled up.
I feel like that was a self-aware move. But yes, Vlatko's on this list. Honestly, I'm going to argue that it'll be way higher, but let's finish.
We can put him higher. Next up, I have slotted in Thomas Welsh.
Let's go.
So if you're new to this show, if you're new to the Nuggets, you might not know who Thomas Welsh is.
Ted's going to have an aneurysm. Sorry, Ted.
But Thomas Welsh was drafted by the Nuggets with the 50th overall pick in 2018 out of UCLA. 2-way contract. He only played 11 games with the Nuggets. But he was an ultimate vibesman.
The best, dude. He was the best. He was one of my original internet bits too as an admin. So for me, he holds a dear place in my heart. UCLA legend. That's right, Dylan. I'm really, really thrilled he made this list. Like truly thrilled. But I'm honestly shocked that he made it ahead of Vlatko.
I mean, we can update the order.
We will before it's all said and done. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you for putting Thomas Welsh on this list. I believe the all-time, or he's top 3 in rebounds at UCLA.
Bro, I will never forget Tim Connolly trying to sell me on Thomas Welsh. Yep. Love you, Tim, but you were wrong about that. Shot 60% from mid-range at UCLA. Deadly from the elbows.
It's like he and Kevin Love are the all-time double-double leaders. It's good company, bro.
That one 3-pointer he hit, you know the 3-pointer.
Oh, yeah.
If you watched it, you know the one I'm talking about.
I think he won a Defensive Player of the Year award in Taiwan recently.
Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, man.
Also just a great guy. I remember Nick Kosmider, who covers the Broncos, used to cover the Nuggets, wrote a feature on him, how after every practice, he would go up and shake every coach's hand. Like, what?
Yeah, dude. I can see that. I can totally see that. Thomas Welsh's career averages 1.6 points per game, 0.4 rebounds per game, 43% from three. Sharpshooter. Legend. He's a legend.
He would hit a 15-footer every time Lonzo kicked it to him.
It's so true, dude.
The jump shot did not translate, though.
Deadly from the elbows is hilarious. Chat, you're on
He
one
was
today.
deadly. All right, so that was number 7. We can finalize the order after, but that's number 7 for now. Let's hit a break on the other side. We've still got 1 through 6 to go through. Some great names on this list that I just can't wait to get to.
If you're thinking about preventing hair loss, but you're worried about just adding stuff just putting stuff into your body, especially if you're not sure what it is, where it comes from, that's where Nutrafol comes in. You don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health. They provide a whole body health approach for men that promotes healthier hair. No drugs, no compromises, just better hair. If you're tired of weakening or thinning hair, you want that full potential, that full hair potential, check out Nutrafol, the leading hair growth supplement. It's going to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. The #1 dermatologist recommended growth supplement. It is clinically proven, folks. Take the first step today and go to Nutrafol.com/men. Enter the promo code DNVR. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol/men. Nutrafol.com/men. Enter promo code DNVR.
This is an incredible comment from Steve May. Tim Connolly is a supernatural at the bar in Vegas. He kept going from one side of the bar to the other without ever walking past me. It was freak.
That is an accurate observation about Tim. That's how he moves, man. Oh man, he's everywhere at once.
Guys, Illegal Pete's, they have the best ingredients in town. High quality ingredients with responsibly sourced. Every type of food that they put out is responsibly sourced. Burritos, bowls, tacos. The best ingredients. Illegal Pete's, it's just the best. Whether you want a burrito, a bowl, tacos, they got a full bar as well at every Illegal Pete's location. They've got happy hour 3 to 8 p.m. every single day at all 12 locations. Again, whatever you want. Burritos, bowls, tacos, quesadillas. They got fish tacos at Illegal Pete's too. I bet your favorite burrito place or your second favorite burrito place doesn't do that. It's your go-to spot, burritos, buddies, and beers for 28 years. Check out Illegal Pete's for their 3 to 8 p.m. happy hour every single day. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast, the DNBA show, revealing our top 10 cult heroes / vibesmen of the Nikola Jokic era. We're on number 6. And right now at 6, I've got Mike Miller.
I love this because there's a lot of, not recency bias, because they recently won a championship. So it's the newest crop of Nuggets from the Jokic era, fresh in our minds. But Mike Miller, maybe the OG Jokic appreciator, propagator, gospel spreader, and an all-time vibesman, beloved by basketball players, beloved by fans. I love that he's on the list.
The person who gave Nikola Jokic the Joker nickname.
That's right. That's right, man. Anyone who was there early in appreciating Jokic has a special place in the heart of the Nuggets fandom. Mike Miller's real high on that list.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he was the real only veteran on, or one of the very few veterans on those really early Jokic era teams. He was, like you said, maybe the first believer. It was either him or Jameer Nelson. I mean, Jameer Nelson always tells that story about how when they went to training camp in Philadelphia that he put on, or mini camp, the Nuggets front office called Jameer and asked him who the best player is, and he said Jokic. So Mike Miller was that type of believer from day one. And great bench personality, great vibes on the bench all the time. And he's still kind of, he's still popping in and out of, the Nuggets dialogue.
Yeah, I think so. I think people who were there for the Jokic era understand why Mike Miller's on this list. Even though other people don't think of Mike Miller, the Denver Nugget. They think of the one shoe shot with the Heat and all that.
Number 5.
This is going to be controversial, Wind, but let it rip.
Nick Young. And if we're talking about ceilings and peaks of cult heroes and vibesmen, Nick Young's peak might be unparalleled. Nick Young was signed to a couple 10-day contracts in Denver. What year was that? Was that 2018?
I can't. I'm going to look it up.
It's 2018. This guy came into Denver and did not stop smiling for the entire 3 weeks that he was here.
Do you remember how loud it got when he hit those threes?
His first three was like I was in Ball Arena and it was like all-time loud.
The threes that he hit, were some of the loudest moments at Ball Arena pre-championship run.
And it was like everyone understood the deal. It was an ironic cheer. It was they're like, what is Nick Young doing here? Yeah. You know, no one was like, and now we're winning the title. So I've told you this. I don't know how well it translates on a podcast. Just bear with me. Try to picture it. The last I ever saw of Nick Young, his last day in Denver, the locker room doors kick open and some guy in flats is struggling to carry like a 60, maybe 70-inch screen TV over his shoulders. He drops it 3 times, goes into another room, comes out, steals a dolly, puts the TV on the dolly, and wheels it out of Ball Arena. We never saw Nick Young again. So that's my last memory of him.
He took a party favor.
I think it was a gift. I'm not accusing him of it. I'm just saying it was the last I ever saw. I think so. It's the last I ever saw of Nick Young. Yeah, he did not stop smiling. I never asked him what he was thinking with that one. Maybe next time I see him.
He is mostly on this list because, I mean, the vibes were so high when he was here. Every shot he hit at Ball Arena, it turned the arena into a freaking party.
It's true, man.
It was a hilarious time.
Oh, my God. How did he end up on the processed Nuggets? What happened? All right.
Number 4, I have Facu Campazzo. Facu Campazzo.
This is a lightning rod pick because
what you probably don't remember about Facu, the highs were so freaking high, man. Do you remember some of our post-game shows after a big Facu game?
I mean, they were. I lived for them.
One of our biggest shows ever, like to this day, view-wise, is a preseason game because Facu went off.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
Shout out Argentina.
Facu is like, you guys aren't going to, he is a top 3 SEO driver in the Jokic era, honestly. For me, he absolutely has to be in here. He is my height and he played in the NBA. That is just a treat. I guess he could say the same thing about IT, but yeah, I'm glad that Facu's on here. It was one of the more polarizing figures of the Jokic era, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for cult hero types, being 5'7" is a great start.
The exit / the end of his time here, it did end on a bad note.
It got rough. It got ugly.
Yeah.
Got personal.
Argentina people were threatening Denver Nuggets reporters. Like, it was a tumultuous time.
Blackburn almost went into WITSEC. It was tough, dude. It was tough.
It was a tough time. But, like I said, the highs were so high with him. Like, there were definitive Facu games. Do you remember those?
Yes.
There were Facu games.
When they played the Rockets. But yes, I do. I do remember.
Where he would make 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 plays in the game that won the Nuggets that game that night.
It's true, man. And it was the energy of it. First of all, no one fell more in love with him than Michael Malone, which was part of the problem. Like, if Facu played 10 minutes a night, people would be like, look at that
his first year was better because he wasn't playing like 30 minutes a night.
Right. Well, yeah, because he was like a 2.5 on the depth chart, and by the end, he was starting, and you're like, oh, no. I remember, because I just wanted him to get through the night without the internet destroying him by the end of it. And he'd be like 8 minutes into a good game, and then Malone would play him 17 straight minutes. Like,
I know. There were times when he did play like every minute in the second half.
It's true. But hey, man, he played hard. He was fun to watch.
He had some of the most ridiculous plays of the Jokic era, probably, just in terms of passes and stuff he saw on the court. His last game was an ejection.
That's right. Yeah.
Chris, I don't remember that. What game was that?
I can't remember, but I do remember that now. Yeah, things did not go well for Facu.
He was all time, like, if this dude was not on my team, I would hate his guts.
Oh, yeah.
I think multiple NBA players tweeted about how much they hated it.
Well, he had the whole thing where Who did he knee in the groin in the Olympics? Was it Melo?
Oh.
I think it was Melo.
Was it Chris Paul, maybe?
I think it was Melo. He kneed him in the groin in the Olympics in 2012.
He had some bench player all riled up too. They almost fought, and then he tweeted, Facu Campazzo, if I ever see you, it's hands or something like that.
Yeah, but that's a good point, Steve. His effort was incredible. 10 out of 10. He's going 100 miles an hour all the time. You just had to appreciate it.
It was awesome, dude. Yeah. No one else could take so many steps and cover such little ground. It was awesome.
He's your guy, but I love how you still throw shade at him.
I love him, though. You know what I mean? He's the best. He's the best. I'm glad he's on this list.
All right, let's hit a final break. Top 3 Vibesman cult heroes of the Nikola Jokic era coming up after this. I feel like this is a good top 3 that we got.
Wayne Ellington. That's who it is. And CJ McCollum. Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are going to hate one of Wynn's picks. I can't wait. When you get hurt, Backus and Shanker, they're there to help. They win for Colorado families. They've been winning for those who have been seriously injured in Colorado for more than 25 years. Hey, one reason people don't speak with lawyers, the fees. They don't want to get tangled up in something they can't understand, can't afford. That's not an issue with our friends at Backus and Shanker. They don't charge you any money until they've won your case. They don't charge you a fee just to speak about your case. And they do win cases. They've won over $1 billion for their clients. So whether it's car accident, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrian, trucks, even if you're injured at work, call Backus and Shanker at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker, they win, baby.
All right. Shady Rays. Shady Rays take on the sun with gear built to last. ShadyRays.com. Use the code DNVR. Get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Shady Rays rated 5 stars by 250,000 people. You can shop their entire collection online, ShadyRays.com. Just browse their website. They have every style, type of sunglass you could want. You can also go in person, Park Meadows Mall, brand new location. Full stop shop for all things Shady Rays. ShadyRays.com. Use the code DNVR. Get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Look, it's super hot out. It's sunny every single day. You need your Shady Rays. ShadyRays.com. Use the code DNVR. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. Harrison Wind and Brendan Vogt. We're revealing our top 10 cult hero / vibesmen of the Nikola Jokic era. And coming in at number 3.
I can feel the anticipation. People are loving this list.
I kind of want to make an audible right here.
Do what you got to do, man. You're in charge.
I'm going to put Bol Bol at number 3.
Okay. Another polarizing figure.
But again, the highs with Bol were so high, man.
It's so true.
Think about Summer League. Think about the bubble.
The 5 center lineup.
Think about the 2 games he started against the Nets that one season. Think about just the highs with Bol. They were awesome.
Another SEO driver too.
Another great SEO
We couldn't get through a single mailbag episode without a Bol question.
Yeah. I mean, he was part of the second young core. He might have been in the brightest timeline on some point.
Bol Bol definitely more of a cult hero than a vibesman for sure.
But when he was great, he was a vibesman.
Do you guys remember when we had just come out of being in lockdown and we were at the bar for maybe one of the first times? The bar wasn't even reopened yet, and Bol Bol hit his first 3 in the bubble, and we were all sitting downstairs watching together in the Cadillac booth. All-time DNVR moment.
Freaking out.
I'm telling you, man, some of the Bol games were all-timers.
So
they were all-timers.
For this one, Chad, I know we're a little sort of flexible on the definitions here, but it's the cult hero. You're right. He wasn't, he definitely wasn't DeAndre Jordan on the bench, but the truth is, as far as the internet fandom, Bol Bol had a hold on us.
Yeah.
It's true. Ted, we all have that one friend who has a Bol jersey.
They're still rocking it. Number 2, I have PJ Dozier.
I think this is correct. I think PJ Dozier is, and I say this respectfully. Like, I really don't mean this. I think he's the most disproportionately rated player in maybe Denver Nuggets history.
PJ Dozier could run for mayor and win
in a landslide. I'm surprised he didn't get write-in votes during the runoff. You know? Yeah, dude. He to this day, people probably want him back. He didn't.
Micah Malone wants him to join his coaching staff.
I think the fan base loved this guy more than he was good, but he absolutely belongs on this list and near the very top.
Yeah, PJ Composure, one of a kind, really. I mean, the origin story of PJ Composure is he was on a two-way contract?
Yes.
He was on a two-way contract, played in a rotation game for the first time, he did a speech on the court.
That's right.
Somebody handed him the microphone. It was, what was it, MLK Day?
I can't remember.
It was something like that. I can't imagine it was the first game of the season.
He crushed it, though.
Yeah, it might have been MLK Day. Of course, nobody wants to make that speech. They just hand it to one of the rookies. He got it. Lowest man on the totem pole. Great speech. Then played a good game. I think that was his first game in the rotation. Went into the locker room after the game, super composed in his post-game media session.
He was good with the media. He liked it. And that's right. He's playing in Partizan now.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Did you
PJ.
see the video of him walking through the airport in the Partizan shirt and hat?
No, I
just ridiculously composed.
What's his actual last name? Dozier. That's right. Okay.
But I mean, that is an important trait if you're playing in Serbia.
I know. By the way, I did not mean to dunk on PJ, who I think, had utility as a player.
Right.
I mean this affectionately. Like, every fan base has a guy that they just, like, through thick and thin, were there for you. And I think PJ is that guy. He and Gary Harris are that guy.
Yeah, like PJ Dozier, man, he was a good player. The idea of him was a great player.
Right. That's it.
Injuries, inconsistent, and he was just he just never really fulfilled his potential here, but he could have been a great player. The idea of him, like a PJ Dozier actualized, is incredible. Like a 6'5", 6'6" point guard.
All the tools, Harrison.
Great in the pick and roll, great defender.
Versatile.
Yeah. But he just...
It never... Well, the injuries didn't help, Yeah. And he might be one of those guys, too, where circumstance is everything. Like, you just get a little bit of runway at the right time and you can change your career forever. Or you could not get that runway and never get a chance to really prove yourself.
Do you think George Karl always meant to call him Dozier?
I love...
What the hell was that?
There's a lot we could circle back to with that podcast.
Dozier?
It's kind of like Bill Simmons on his show. I'd like to think that these guys know they're doing it, but I love the utter refusal to adapt. People explain it to you, and you're like, I'm just going to say it my way.
Yeah. Fix your mic. Your mic came out, I think.
Oh, no. Sorry, everyone.
So, yeah, PJ Dozier had to be on this list, and he had to be near the top.
Dozier.
Mr. Nugget Light, I would agree with that. Of course, he could never take that title from Gary and Monte, who held it while he was here. Number 1 on the top 10 cult heroes / vibesmen of the Nikola Jokic era. Was there any debate? It's Juancho. Juancho Hernangomez, number 1. This was an easy one. I mean, the first thing you think about when it comes to Juancho is vibes. His vibes were always immaculate, 10 out of 10. Just always in a great mood. His energy was always there.
Ollie Star coming through.
Great teammate, great person, great vibes, great guy to have in your organization.
A Jokic friend, a Jokic supporter, a bench celebrating all-star. Had some brief moments, some flickers in the NBA. Definitely won out of Mahrez over, but it didn't work out for him. But I think of all the players from the Jokic era, if you see someone in a Juancho jersey, I think that's the most in the club jersey from the era.
That's a good point.
I think that's that person was there for the all of it. They get it. So I think he has to be on that list.
Yeah. I always felt like, Juancho could have been a better player than he was, but wasn't a good enough shooter and didn't really do enough other things to stay with the Nuggets and stay with one team. He's bounced around. I don't even know if he's on a roster right now. Is he?
I'm sure he is somewhere. I mean, he's done fine with Spain, which is cool.
Yeah,
he and his
that's
brother
awesome.
have won together, which is, especially for international players more than we know, like probably a very fulfilling line on his resume. So,
Yeah.
But I do think he could have. Yeah. I mean, look, if you can shoot and you're tall, you're worth a look.
He could never really shoot, though. That was the thing.
I know, but he was one of the all-time. You watch these guys shoot in an open gym.
Oh, he had a beautiful jump shot.
Dude, he was. I actually think he rivals Porter for like aesthetic of just watching them in a gym all day. But yeah, it never translated.
Never quite consistent enough from three.
Clarify, guys. No AG. We went with cult heroes, not vibesmen. We went with cult heroes, and we left Mr. Nuggets in their own category. AG, Gary Harris, Monte. These are their own. And some of those guys like AG, they're just too good for this list. They're not cult heroes. They're mainstream heroes.
Yeah.
I will update the thumbnail.
Thank you. But
I will update the thumbnail.
What you also loved about Juancho is he represented a lot of the Nuggets culture that they were trying to breed in those early Jokic years. Selfless, be happy for your teammates' success.
Yep.
Don't really care who gets the credit. That was Juancho, man. And
I don't think Warhunt Serbia has commented in a calendar year, but they had to check in on the Nick Young. They had to check in on that.
Yeah.
Hey, before we have a hard out, right? We have 4 minutes though. Chat. Before we release this list into the wild, what do we absolutely need to amend, in your opinion? Can you pull that list back up there, Kel? My thought, I think Bol Bol belongs on this list. I think he might be too high.
We could move him down
because of how he left, but he's on the list. And then my only removal would be Nick Young. But I did, as we were doing this,
dude, Nick Young's got to be on there.
As we were doing this, I was like, "You're right, though." When he
Nick
hit
Young's
those
whole
threes,
career has been built on vibes.
It's so.
I think we gotta flip Vladko and Thomas Welsh.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Vlatko should be higher.
I'm fine with that. Steve Wynn says, plus Juancho galloped an invisible horse in front of Kevin Durant.
That's true. We won't put Malone on, but you guys are right. He's an ultimate vibesman.
Yeah. I think that's all the time we got. Great list. We got more top 10 lists coming
Plumlee
later this week. We'll see if Mason Plumlee gets on any of those.
The Torrey Craig erasure. That's one. That's one you could argue.
Torrey Craig, he was, I don't know.
Hard to be a vibes guy when you never hit a three,
Unless he's playing the Nuggets, then he turns into Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
Well, I think we wanted to put Bones on there, but the departure was not pretty. He could have been on there, though.
He could have been.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back later this week, tomorrow, with more top 10 lists. That's what we're doing this week. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you then.
Good stuff, chat.